High-risk investment. Trading on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility exists that you could sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment, and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. You should be aware of all the risks associated with trading and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. Market opinions. Any opinions, news, research, analyses, prices, or other information contained on this video is provided as general market commentary and does not constitute investment advice. Master the Markets will not accept liability for any loss or damage, including without limitation to any loss of profit, which may arise directly or indirectly from use of or reliance on such information.
Hello traders, welcome to our live trading workshop webinar. Today is still Napan here, founder of Master the Markets Illustrates Conference and the Traders Open Day. And I'm here joined by my really good friend and trader and CEO of Trade Guide, a company, Gavin Holmes. Gavin, welcome.
Hi Joe, hello everyone. From my new home in Sandbanks in the south of England. Don't ever move house. Trust me. Don't bother. Just stay where you are. I don't realise, I moved from the New Forest into a place which is right opposite the Solent, the lovely, beautiful place, but I didn't realise how much stuff that children collect. And when you're emptying their rooms, you go, hold on a second, there's 2 cupboards full of toys that they've never used. So anyway, the local charity shop is very happy with me right now. They've got clothes, they've got loads of stuff, but we got stuff to show you today. And I'm really, really pleased to announce that I did publish my 3rd book a few weeks ago. Just spoke to the publisher, over 100,000, well, over 140,000 copies sold already. We'll discuss some of it today because we're doing a course this weekend and next weekend, which involves part of it. But we're going to show the charts today and what you're going to see in the NASDAQ, especially where I did the video on the short trade. Some of you are already still short, and I know that. Just be careful now, because what's going on is misinformation in all arenas about tariffs. Right, I've just heard today in the last hour that they're abolishing the National Health Service in the UK.
Gavin, just a quick one. I think gold is setting up, by the way, at the moment.
Yeah, I've got gold as well. Do you want to put that up, because that is exactly where the big money are starting to push. Yeah, I've got that too.
Actually, let me just put up on the screens, people can see it, then they can see the exact setup, what's going on.
Yeah, you've got professional buying down there, and on the NASDAQ you've got an upfront, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about the setups because that's what people want to learn.
So basically, this is what we are seeing here, traders. I'll show you on TradingView very shortly as well. With the volume is correlating. We can see that on all time frames, the trend is aligning on the 15 1 hour and all that. I'll go through that in a short minute, but I think very quickly what I would say is a very quick trade you can do is on the close here where the SMI is confirmed with the volume, and then you can see stop loss for here if you want a bit more conservative, and the target for just 180R number, which is around here. I'll post the exact trade details very shortly on the chat box, but we'll wait and see how this performs. Okay, so basically from the close it's 481 what I'm taking a look at. So 481, I'll give the exact ones on the chat box and the boys can put it out there as well. 2956.64. Yeah, I'll bring it up on the other charts as well, but for now on the chat box I will put this for you guys. So gold long, you guys can see how that performs based on SMI and VSA. So that's on the 15-minute time frame. This is on the spot, but you can apply the same thing on the futures as well if you guys want to do that. 2951.89, 2951.89. Stop loss is going to be for, I think to start off with, we'll do it at the conservative one, 2938. remember, that's just for the room for it to dance, right? So that's what we're doing it there. 2938.91. And then the target, it's small target what we're going for. Those of you who want to keep trailing it, you can as well. Then what we're going to be doing is 481, isn't it? So $4.81 on that one there. So $4.81, 2953.89 plus 481, 295870.
Jerry, can I ask you a quick question? Because I know
Yeah,
that people have asked me this. I've been doing some demos the last few days. You
yeah,
talk about the dance, right?
yeah.
Now, it sounds like you and I are ballerinas dancing around the market. We've got our nice little tutus on, dancing around, but that's not what you mean, is it? And so the question, I did a very big demo to a bank yesterday, and they had heard you and I do a webinar, and you said, well, the dance of the market. Now, I know you're very into, looking at statistics and the past price and everything, and the banks are very interested in that. But the dance is a very interesting one because it sums it up. I said, well, at Trade Guider, we look at, and I know Master of the Markets, you're very similar, supply and demand, cause and effect, effort versus result, and then other things that make you successful. And that's what we'll talk about. But let's just talk about the dump. Why does a market not just go up and keep going and keep going and keep? Why does it have to come down? And you know it's bullish. You've got all the evidence. We've got all the evidence in the NASDAQ where it's going down, which is why I'm short. But then it goes back up again. You think, oh, hold on a second, what's going on? Why does the market have this, what you call the dance, and I call it the imbalances of the supply and demand situation, which I really see it, but you call it the dance. Explain.
Yeah, it's very simple to answer. In one word, the dance, what we mean technical term, right? Rather than the crude term. The dance is basically volatility, right? And why does the volatility happen? Now, just before I explain that, let me just show you on here on TradingView. I've got the volumes and everything all on here. We'll observe this as it carries on. So to apply it onto here, because I've got everything on the MT4, it's more easier for me. But I'll show it to you here as well. And we did similar things yesterday too. And I'll put for diagrammatic purposes. So 2956.6, 295870, wasn't it? 295870. And then I'll explain to you guys on the volatility. So 2958.70. And then I'll put this as green. And there we go. So we got everything there. So now, what do I mean by the dance and the volatility, right? Technical term is volatility. As you can see over here, once in anything, traders, once you get a confirmation or point of entry where you enter, let's say, right? Either on the close or on the high. Over here, we're entering on the close of the confirmation bar. That confirms this bottom. Now, after we've entered there, you and I know that not all the time it's going to keep going straight up, isn't it? Close, higher close after higher close after higher close. This happens only, as we know, even if you don't look at stats, you know that it happens very rarely, right? Less than 5% of the time. So we must manage our expectations. Most of the time what happens, and yesterday as well, what we showed on the DAX as well, after you've entered, usually sometimes what you usually will get is maybe a little bit of an up move maybe, or straight away it can just go against you, right? Just like that, it can go against you, and then you're just waiting and holding on to it. But we must hold on to it with a clear reason of where your trade will be invalidated. Okay, over here we are looking at swing, right? Because we're swing traders, isn't it? Right? This is the swing I am looking to ride. So in that swing, if it's doing this volatility, and I measured the volatility according to the stats table here, that's what gives us the conviction for me and Gavin. And then after that, after doing all this dance or volatility as we call it, and then it springs upwards towards its target, okay? That's what you need to know, okay? So the technical term is volatility. So how much? So in other words, if I want to say in other words, volatility is like how much does it move against you before moving to its target, okay? So this is what you need to be measuring, okay? So you can see this is a very typical example happening in real time at the right hand side of the chart, which is what me and Gavin we look at. You can see that after you entered it, let's say you entered it here, straight away, you see it went against you, this red bar, and then it pulled back up a little bit, right? But this shouldn't scare you because you know how much volatility, how much it will move against you before getting to your target. And over here on the SMI Elite, if you can see on the OE, we have measured that MAE number. So you see, I can show it to you, and you can see where the conviction then comes to us. So on this table, if you look, so it will take some time to populate it. There you go. So it tells you here. So if you place your stop loss 1.75 ATR away from the close, that's how this has been measured, you won't get stopped out 98% of the time. Now that is a strong statistical conviction you can have. In that swing move, over here you see we've measured each swing, how much it goes against you before going to its maximum point before it turns. You see, for that swing, each swing. And all that MAE numbers, we put it into this table over the last 10 years, over the last 15 years of data. And you can also see over here, when you look over here, I have put the data from 2010 all the way to now, 2025. That's about 15 years of data. That's what it's crunching, okay? And that's on the 15-minute time frame. The good part over here is, and the same for Trade Guider as well, is that these tables and everything that you're seeing over here, it's our own clients that have come on just like watching this, got inspired and say, wow, this is amazing. This blows my mind. Nobody talks to this level of, systematic way of statistical validation and giving you conviction as you trade it. Now, this was done by one of the clients who just came like you, saw it, and then got inspired. And then they told me, like, Tiru, you know what? I'm going to code this all for you on TradingView, and I'm going to lift the community up. And that's what we got today on a click of a button. And before we go on to this webinar, me and Gavin were talking about it. Like, TradingView usually we use for chart analysis because it's so easy, right? Because you can see on a click of a button, I can get all my tables and everything straight away. With other platforms, we use that for execution. But if you want to do data analysis like this, you've got to download to another file and this and that. It takes time. You can still do it, but here we just found it more easier. So that's what we would say in terms of the volatility and how we would look at that and how we would place the initial stop loss. So in here, if I'm taking a look at 1.75 ATR, so I don't get stopped out 98% of the time. So here, 1.75, let me just bring up the ATR number here also. So you can see that that is about, sometimes it shows you that it's about 5.2, isn't it? So 1.75, so 1.75 times 5.2, then that is about 9.10. So $9.10 from this close, what it's saying, right? So let me just do that. So that's a smaller way that I can do, but based on statistical conviction, okay? So 2951.97. So let me do that together with you guys. So 2951.97 minus this number that I just told you guys, yeah? So on here, you can see $9.10. That's my ATR number after I have times it by 1.75, okay? Minus $9.10. And that's 2942.87. So if I want to put a tighter target, I can do that. So 2942.87. So let me just do that. Yeah. So that's that one there. Okay. So if I do it here, so I can either put for the swing low or the 1.75 ATR. If I do it here, that's a bit more smaller. And then that's the one that I would be placing it at, because I know that 98% of the time I won't get stopped out. Now that's a strong statistical conviction that I can have because I've measured it over all the previous swings on this 15-minute time frame, okay? And you can do this across any time frame altogether. Just the last thing before I pass it on to Gavin is that you must understand, guys, that both the volume and the SMI indicator, they're not buy and sell indicators. You got to still use it in conjunction with your strategy rules. Why did I pick this? Because I already looked at all the stretch and the range and all that for today, everything confluenced. Not only that, here's the powerful part, right? So when the SMI confirmed over here, look at the VSA light, that's also in green as well. And look at the volume also. It has at least crossed the second moving average. And over here, look at that, it peaked over the third moving average as well on this red bar. But look, the most important thing is after that red bar, it didn't close lower. It just closed a little bit on the same side, but after that, it got strength and then it closed over here, the SMI confirming. So price and volume are confirming together. Plus, I've also seen on the stretch principles also that it's also confluencing. For those of you who don't understand this concept of stretch and all that, you can always take a look on our Master the Markets YouTube channel, youtube.com/Master the Markets. Look at this one here, stretch principle. Over here, also you can also look at the 7 steps to CTP.com. Okay, highly recommend you guys to watch that so that you understand all these terminologies, the volatility, the dance, you know, the MAE and all this which I'm showing you. This will take you step by step. Once you put your name, email, your details and all of that and hit the green button, you can get the 7 videos and you watch it at your own free time. Okay. Right. I guess that's that one I wanted to talk on. I guess I've explained on the volatility, Gavin. You want to look at a NASDAQ maybe perhaps?
I'll just want to go backwards a little bit there.
Yeah.
If we look at what you're showing there, we're obviously go to the top right and it says trend up phase 1, right to the right hand side, which is
there you go. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Now in the NASDAQ, it's the complete opposite, as I'll show you. Now, what is that measuring? Now, I've had a lot of questions about why have we, working with Master the Markets, Trade Guider, what is the connection with VSA and SMI? I want to cover it right now. So there are, I mean, we have been, put up for, and I hope you'll vote for us as educators.
Oh yeah, nice.
And I'm sure Chiru will explain. We've got a lot of opportunities coming up right now, and I'll talk about what they are. We've got a great team of people behind us, and in fact, Kyron and Glenn are actually in India right now. Now they benefit for the weather. I just wish they could bring the weather over to pool so I can go and sunbathe. But it's like we've got a great team right behind us. Now things change, but let's talk about what's going on at the right edge of this chart. Right now, you're looking at gold, and everything's going up. Everything's turned green. And Turu, can you point to the right edge of the chart where it says phase 1? I want to explain this. And it's going to change dynamically to the right edge. There. Now, what is a phase? Okay, and I've got asked this question several times, so I'll cover it now. When Wyckoff, and remember, Turu, myself, the team, we look at volume, price action. Tiru looks at statistics, which I don't tend to have targets on my trades, by the way, even though I know this is going to go up. Tiru's correct. I think you'll see that's right. I don't put a price target and say, oh, it's hit it, I'm going to close the trade. I just don't do that. That's a personal style that I was taught by Tom Williams and the late, both the late Tom Williams and David Weiss, which I've talked about in the last video. I know that what Tiru said is correct. Now, Tiru, if you go to a 1-minute chart, you'll see what I'm seeing. Okay, because we're in this trade here, and you go to a 1-minute chart, you say it can't work on a 1-minute chart. It actually does, and it actually works on a 10-tick chart. You'll see everything's now. Look, everything's green. Okay, and look, just as we've been talking, you've got tests. Now, these are new indicators, tests in a rising market, very strong. But it's a dance. It's not going to go straight up. It's going to go even on a 1-minute chart. But if you go backwards a bit, Tiru, you'll see what I'm seeing. And everything's turned green. And keep going back as long as because that's why it's been going up in gold. And I'll show you the NASDAQ in a minute. And you can go back, yeah, well, it's just 1 minute chart, but you can keep going and you can see the SMI indicator, which is very much based on it's volume based, like Ada. And the reason Tiru and I became connected was exactly that. Was he looked at, and you can see everything is aligning, right? It's all aligning. The reason we connected was very simple. I saw in the software that they developed, Master the Markets, a very close alignment with what volume spread analysis does. So let's tell you what it doesn't do, okay? Because that's important. When you get the software, whether you're using TradingView or NinjaTrader, whatever, what it doesn't do is give you outright buy and sell signals.
Correct.
Because they don't work. But as you can see, it does measure some very important principles. The first one, which is the most obvious one, is the trend of price, which you can see to the top right is all green on the 1 minute chart in gold. And Tiru gave you exactly what was going to happen 10, 15 minutes ago. That's not an accident. There are no accidents in the markets. They are very predictable if you know what you're looking for. Now, I will give you a prediction on where gold's going to go because I've got the chart up on the other screen here. Okay, and you can see at this moment, it's going to hit 2995. So 2995 is the next target level. But I don't set that as a profit target at all. I just know that through my point and figure charting, which we're going to be teaching in the event that we're doing over the weekend, which we'll talk about, and talk about that. Now, and I'll come back to Tyrrell on this. Everything that we've seen in this chart, and we're talking about gold, and I'm going to do the very opposite on the NASDAQ in a minute, which is terrible for some of you that are long. But there is a lot of opportunity in the NASDAQ. But everything in the software is telling us the same thing. Well, it's going to keep going, Turu. You've nailed it. We've nailed it. You do this stuff live. That's the best way to teach people.
Yeah.
I believe that to be the truth. You can show it in PowerPoint and say, well, look what happened over here. Now, we are going to be trading in Chicago, New York, and London, probably at the same time in early April. We're going to be using this system. Now, we will also use, and let me be clear, MT5, which we support, and I know you do, Tiru, and we support NinjaTrader and other platforms, but we're focused at the moment on this platform. Now, the reason is, as you're about to see, you're going to see this live. Everything's lined up. And one of the things, Tiru, I'd ask you a question on is there's a lot of stuff on the internet right now about how easy it is to trade. Okay, oh, you can make millions, right? And I'm doing presentations at schools to kids of 18 to 25 because of the book, and I'll talk about the book in a minute. You talk like I talk about we're trading the truth, meaning we're telling the truth. Now, what is the truth about the market? It's very confusing because is there any truth? Suddenly you've got these tariffs that Trump introduces, and then you've got a new Prime Minister of Canada that used to be the Bank of England governor, Mark Carney. And you look at all this information, and then the markets move on this information. But we'll come to the NASDAQ in a minute. But when we look at gold, you must forget conjecture and what people are saying, because with gold and with anything, the NASDAQ, now you've put the NASDAQ up. What does the trend tell us? What's it doing? Of course it's going down. I'll show you why. There was an upthrust. Everything's negative. So gold's going up because people are saying, or the investors are saying, well, that's a safe haven. The NASDAQ, as I said 3 weeks ago, was going to collapse. But it wasn't based on a guess at all. It was, Cyril and I discussed it. And you know, that's the wonderful part of trading with a good friend like Tiru and the team in India there. We discuss these things. And we go, oh, okay. Now, you've got a 15-minute chart up here of the NASDAQ. So you've got some support, right? And
I
it's
think it's
marked
delayed
down.
this on the futures,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's it.
Actually, you can show your screen, actually, Gavin. I think it'll be easier.
Yeah, I can put my screen up. Yeah, that's fine. Hold on.
Let me stop the share.
That's fine. I can see a hell of a lot of people watching this, so that's great news. Let me put my screen up and I'll show you exactly what's going on. And we'll just share the screen. Don't know why. Don't know why. I'm certain the banks are coming in and just closing it off. They don't want to tell the truth.
That's right.
All right. Before I carry on, I know we've got a load of people in here. Can you all see my chart? It's the NASDAQ 1 hour chart. And it's in a downtrend. And it's something that I put on YouTube before. And we've got massive volume on this down move. And I'm going
Yeah, but I think we're getting a good confirmation. Yes, everybody can see it. George, so thank you for that. PJ, yes,
Brilliant.
yeah.
Okay.
Adrian, yeah, thank you. Yeah,
All
thank
right,
you, guys.
that's good. Hey, we love doing live presentations. The reason why we love them is you just don't know if you're projecting or not, or you've got to be very careful what you put on your screens. But this is the NASDAQ. And I'm going to talk about two things in this presentation, and then I'm going to go back to Tiru. So we're going to talk about charting, and I'm then going to talk a little bit about the book I produced, which has had 148,000 sales already. Now that is incredible for me. I didn't ever expect anything like that, but there must be something. So let's talk about charting first of all. Now, when we look at the master of the markets indicators here, they mean something. What do they mean? Well, they're showing that there's downward pressure on this NASDAQ chart. And then our VSA indicator says ND in a red area in our new software, which is called the professional version, no demand. And you get multiple what we call tests. Now, this confuses many. They say, well, you've got a green indicator. Oh, it's green. So surely it must go up. But that's not what was developed. If you go for a driving test, you have two outcomes. There's only two. You pass or you fail. They don't go in the middle and go, oh, well, yeah, well, I'm not sure. The driving instructor will tell you, oh, you've passed or you failed. So when you see a green indicator in a downtrend, when you've got weakness in the background, it's a sign of weakness, but it's green. And human beings are wonderful. They go, oh, green, that's a buy. No. We don't, as traders and investors, use traffic light signals to buy and sell. We use our brains. Hence the book Think, Link, Create. So watch what happens. So these tests, which are green, fail. Now, you get massive volume on this down bar. Now watch what happens. It's down, but the next bar here has got an increase in volume, but it hasn't yet decided what it wants to do. But I can see in the system, the trend is still down. It has to be down because the market has been falling. You can look at gold. You can look at anything, actually. You can just pick. The wonderful thing about TradingView, you can say, right, I want to put up a chart. What do you want to put up? Funds, stocks, crypto, Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. You can put anything up. And we'll go back to Tiru, who can do the analysis on gold. But at the moment, on the 1 hour chart, the NASDAQ, the no demand bar has caused it to fall. And the SMI indicator has confirmed it. This is not, now I'm teaching a couple of pilots at the moment, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. They say it's like an instrument panel, isn't it, Gavin? You've got, the confirmation up here. if you move.
Gavin, just a quick point. Gold is approaching the target, our first
Oh
target.
yeah, yeah. I'm just watching it. Hold on. Let me move straight to it. I can see it.
I think it's just about like less than $2.
Yep, it's right on. So we'll go the futures and we just go to GC, which is the futures contract. Gold, gold futures. Yeah, I've got it. Well, that's the hourly chart. Everything's aligned. But if we go to a 5 minute,
Let me just quickly show it on here.
yeah, yeah, you take the screen because I can see the testing. It's a test in a rising market. So yeah, you
Yeah.
put your screen up because it's exactly what you said, and it's
So
all
I guess I
aligned.
think
Yeah.
everybody can see this one here.
Hmm.
I guess this is exactly what we showed them before, isn't it? It's not in
Yeah. Can
hindsight. So
everyone
all,
let me stop sharing my screen and
yeah, I
then
think they'll be able to see. So everything is in real time, trader. So you saw all of this anyway. I put it on the chat box. Hopefully the boys put it on YouTube as well.
yeah.
So you can see, yeah, 2951 is where we entered. Did a little bit of a dance volatility. We came in on this one here. The first target is here, 2958. How do we get the target? Based on the OE tables, right? On the 1 ATR number. So if I show you here, that's the best part about this. But remember, just like what Gavin said, those of you, according to your strategy rules, if you don't want to put a target, you can create strategy number two. That's what we do over here. So we got two strategies, right? One strategy where we put a target based on an ATR number like this, right? One ATR will get there on a phase one, like what Gavin pointed out, at least about 64 to 70% of the time we'll get there. So that's how I chose the target for the first one on strategy one. On strategy two, just like what Gavin's preference is, and this is based on your personality and how you construct your strategy rules, you don't need to have any target. You can keep trailing it to the low of the bar, right? On every 1 hour or 15 minutes, however that you construct your rules. This is why me and Gavin, we um, always stress that this is not a buy and sell indicator. It will give you a very good guidelines and stats and everything that you can trade a conviction, but you still got to put it all together. It's like, the analogy of a car, isn't it? We're giving you a really good engine and steering wheel and all that, but you still got to put it together according to your preference and your personality. Okay. So that's what we're saying over here. Right. So that's where we are at. So 2958.70. So the high of that is 2958.29. And because it's reached 80% of its target, as of now, our trading stop loss is on the low of this because then it has cleared that area and has gone there. Now, I think to just a little bit to break even now because it's got to 80% of its target, I'll trail to the low of this bar here. I'll put it for you guys also. 2952.30. Okay, so I'll 2952.31. I'll just do that, 2952.31. And there we go. I think just check it on my other screen as well, where it has the broker has got, and that's very clear right now. So that's gone through that in real time over here, okay, on that particular target over there that we have put over here. Okay, traders. 2959, 2960, where is that? Is broken through our first target, right? The second target towards a range is over here at 2964.87. We'll see if it gets there as well. But on your first target on a 15-minute time frame, based on 1 ATR numbers in real time using price and volume, we've shown you that it has hit the target. And a good lesson that you learn, and that's what Gavin said, isn't it? You learn the most in live real-time trading. You can see over here that a little bit of volatility, that doesn't scare you if you entered that. But we only saw the trade if you saw in real time and you go back to the YouTube. We only saw it as on when this came across. We were still near to the entry. That's when we entered it. And past we didn't need to wait through the volatility. But if you did, that's fine. There's the volatility there. And then after that, then we saw it push through. Sometimes traders is not that straightforward. Even after maybe 2 bars, you might still, show some volatility and hover around. If you want to learn from all of that, go under our live section here, youtube.com/master the markets, and also on Trade Guiders channel also. Then you can see that actually over there, you can see all the previous ones. I think here is where, I think yesterday was where we took the silver trade, and the before one, I think we took the DAX. The DAX was a really good example because it would have gone very near to the stop before it went forward. I think silver actually, I think would have done that yesterday as well. So you can look through all that. If you want to know when we are going live on both our channel and Trade Guiders channel, hit the subscribe button and click the all bell icon. That's the one. Then it will send you a notification to your phone when we are going live. The same thing on Trade Guider channel here as well. After you click subscribe, click on the all bell icon there as well. Okay, so that's what you can do, because I think the most you really learn is from in real time trading. Okay, that's where you are. We got another trade on this on strategy, but that's on end of day, which is what we publish our results on live trading room for the last 12 years, including losses and wins. We are running that as well. So that will be more on a higher time frame. And on the higher time frame, you can see we sat through the dance for quite a little bit. The volatility, as you can see, after we had confirmation, and it confirmed with our rules as well. Then after that, look at this, right? So for 2, 3, 5 days, we're sitting through all of that volatility because we know that's not the end yet, because we got our conviction from these tables here. And then today it's accumulated on all of that, and now it's going past much more higher. Okay, so that's how we look at it, and we combine that all with volume, and you saw that in real time as it hit through our first target, and truth lo and behold, now it's hit through our second target, 2964, and then Gavin has got another one on point and figures 2995. We'll see how that goes through as well. So it's gone through our range for now as well. Those are the ones I was talking about in the stretch principle that we will see. That's how I got the second target, 2964.87, because on the daily time frame, I'm waiting for it to form its range on an ATR basis. Okay, ATR number you can see over here, that is about $38. It's done that. I took about 80% of, which is about $32, and that's how I got my second target here, which is explained in the stretch principle videos. Okay, after it's done its range, I've always mentioned this in our previous live videos that it would do a little bit of consolidation, because traders would have come out over here because they're trading on the range as well. And then if you want to then ride it further, then you can always do it on your other strategies or scale out as well. Okay, that's good. Gavin, I think I gave the full round on this, on the gold. Maybe you want to take a look at maybe the NASDAQ. I want to say a few more on this one.
No, I just want to point out that, there's no accidents in the market. We didn't just guess that, right? We're doing it live. We didn't just go, I'll tell you what, we'll throw a number at it and hope it works, right? But I do get emails from it. Well, you seem to keep getting it right. Well, here's why, and this is important. And I'm going to share my screen, and
Yeah, go for it.
hopefully you can all see it. Okay, we'll try. All right, and
Working, I think. Let me see.
okay, and that's our YouTube channel. But I'm gonna go somewhere else. So
Yeah, I think it's going. Yeah.
right, let's see if that works. Can you all see this?
Yeah, I can see. I think everybody else will be able to see as well, I guess, right, guys?
Yeah. Okay, so this
Yeah,
is
good. Thanks for that, Adrian.
my third book. I'm going to explain a bit to you. The
And
book,
Steve is saying we got a crystal ball.
yeah, don't laugh, but there is a story. When I was in Chicago, and a guy rang me in the office, and he said, "Gavin, S&P 500, I'm going to buy it. I've listened to your YouTube video yesterday. You think it's going to go up. How are you doing this? How are you predicting this?" And I joked. I said, "I've got a crystal ball." And he said, "You're an Englishman with a crystal ball, and you like them." I said, "Yeah, I've got it in my drawer here." And I thought I'll just have fun with this. And I said, "Hold on." And I opened the drawer. God, by the way, this is a joke. Please don't take this seriously. I pretended to bring out the crystal ball. He said, "Where's the S&P going then?" I said, 8 points higher in the next 2 hours. And it went 12 points higher in 1 hour. And the guy left me a message. He said, "Can you sell me one of those crystal balls?"
I think
Seriously.
that's our next title.
No, yeah, well, no,
The Englishman with
there
a
is
crystal ball.
everyone has the crystal ball. It's called the brain, which I'll talk about in the book. Now, I'll just explain to you what this is all about and why it's relevant. And I know Tiru and I have worked for many years together, and we're both of the same view. But there is something that I put on YouTube yesterday, and it's got a lot of traction. I just want to explain it. So my publisher wrote this. I didn't write exactly this. I wrote something different, but they changed it, and that's what publishers do. And I wrote a book with a TLC, Think, Link, Create. Now, the reason I've written this at 58 years old is from what I've learned as a former police officer. And I link what I'm telling you here to trading and investing. Now, it's in the book, but it's not a trading and investing book, is it? Now, Tira and I have studied many different educators in the self-help arena, if that's what you want to call it. I mean, the publisher has come up and said, "Oh, well, it's a self-help book." I'm saying, "Well, it's not a self-help book at all. It's a book." It's not. But of course, they have to class it. I'll just read to you this bit. And this is why I'm doing my mentorship courses again, because it makes such a great difference to what I teach by listening to people. I had a 2-hour conversation yesterday with a client, and yeah, amazing. So it's Think, Link, Create by Gavin D. Holmes, harnessing and understanding the universal power laws to create your perfect life. Embark on a transformative journey with Think, Link, Create, where Gavin D. Holmes, well, Gavin Douglas Holmes, unveils the universal power laws that shapes our reality. Drawing from his remarkable, that's a wonderful word, experience as a police officer, entrepreneur, and trading expert, Holmes presents an insightful guide on how thoughts, beliefs, and actions influence personal success and fulfillment. Inspired by a life-changing near-death experience and the teaching of legendary thinkers like Napoleon Hill, Wallace Wattles, Dr. Bruce Lipton, they're going to have to change that, it's Dr. Bruce Lipton. This book explores the profound impact of the law of attraction, the power of visualization, thought vibration, and emotional energy. Holmes masterfully combines real-life examples, scientific insights, and spiritual wisdom to help readers unlock their full potential. Whether you're seeking financial success, personal growth, or a deeper connection with the universe, as I call it, Think, Link, Create provides the practical strategies and mindset shifts needed to manifest your dreams. The book is a must-read for those who are ready to break negative thought patterns, which happens in trading, by the way, embrace abundance, and harness the true power of their mind. Discover how to think with clarity, link your thoughts to action, and create the life you've always desired. Your mind is like a parachute. It's best used when it's open. Now, let me just enlighten you on what I said. I had a near-death experience, 2, not 1. The first one, I was gone for 20 minutes, okay, and I was brought back to life. Wonderful experience as a police officer. Number 2 happened many years later when I had a very adverse reaction to some drugs that I've been prescribed. I don't take, by the way, just to be clear, I don't take any drugs, never have. These are prescribed drugs, but I had a bad reaction. And again, similar situation. What I want to tell you is this. I just lost a good friend of mine. I talked about this in the YouTube video yesterday, and he was 52. He had everything to live for. And gone. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, because a lot of people I talk to say, well, I'm really struggling, Gavin. I'm looking at the TV, I'm looking at the media, I'm looking at all of this. And Tiru and I, and good friends, Kieran and Glenn in India, we've talked about this. We're trying to figure out, how do we help people? Well, this is why I wrote the book. Because when you're trading and investing, you're looking at the material side of things. You're trying to make money. And I don't care what anyone tells me. They say, well, no, I'm trying to make money. And that's absolute, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. But what tends to happen when you have losses or negative belief systems is you continue to lose. And it's very distressing. So how can you change it? Well, Tiru and I have come up with a plan. And I think it's a plan that will work. Because I've proven it to myself. And I know Tiru has. The first and most important part of being a good investor or trader is to believe in the system that you have developed or bought into. Now, in our case, people do buy into the SMI VSA message. The second thing is to actually take action. Notice when you looked at Tiru's stuff on his bookshelf, I am going to send him a copy of this book, so it is featuring in front of Tony Robbins' book. We're going to work on that one.
Nice.
I've got you the hard copy, but the bottom line is that it's the inspiration for everything that I've put into this book has come from other authors and people that I've met, including Tiru and including Glenn and including Kyron out in India, people that I respect. But has life dealt me adversity and cards that you think, oh, that's not fair? Yes, but that's exactly how you should respond to adversity, is it's there to help me. And in trading, as I will teach you, and Tiru will teach you, adversity is a blessing, it's not a curse. And you might think, well, I've lost X amount. But if you know how to deal with it and how to set yourself forward with a plan, that's what we do, then you don't need to be concerned about adversity, because at the end of the day, it's only money. And I know that sounds really odd. People go, well, you're a trader, you must be really concerned with money. No. Money comes and goes. Adversity comes and goes. Good luck comes and goes. It's called Tiru would call it the dance of life rather than the dance of the market. Here's a thought I would leave you with Think and Create, and also with what Tiru and I are going to be doing, and we'll send you an email about the course that we've put together. What we're trying to achieve here, the tours and the team out in India, what we're trying to achieve is to embrace the opportunities that Donald Trump, believe it or not, is creating. Now, my wife does not like Donald Trump at all, and absolutely despises what he is all about. Having said that, whether you like or I'm not political, whatever's going on in the world is happening from very powerful people like Elon Musk, Donald Trump, others, even Keir Starmer, who's disbanded the National Health Service here in the UK. Whatever you say, it's moving price in markets. And when I hand back to Tiru in a second, we can have a look at gold and why it gyrates. It always does. They say it's a safe haven. But the NASDAQ very interesting. You look at that and you go, well, hold on a second. Is the NASDAQ going through a giant shakeout right now? And all you can do, like with gold, is look at where the price action is. 3-minute chart, as I've been talking. All right, it's Tiru who was talking. Okay, you can see the tests. This is part of our system. But go back to the NASDAQ for a second. We go to the NQ, and then I'll hand over to Tiru to wrap it up. But we go to the NASDAQ futures, okay, and 3-minute chart. And you've got here the selling. Look at the volume. Closed in the middle. It's only a 3-minute chart, but then you've got the SMI indicator. And I did say it was going to fall, but then look at a 15-minute chart. And it starts to become obvious. Trend down, phase one, up thrust. This is not rocket science. I'm not being clever. That is the weakness while we've been on air. Gold's been pushing higher. We showed you that. Here, you've got a very high volume bar, closed on the low, next bar down. This is going all the way down to the bottom. And I'm going to quote this, so you're absolutely certain I'm doing this in real time. It's 14:59 in the UK, so it's nearly 3 p.m. The markets have opened, and I am suggesting to you that this market is going to collapse below this low, okay, which is at around 19,000, approximately 19,311. Why? That will be because of this. And when this all starts to align, that will push lower. And you can go and look at this 100 times on YouTube, 1,000,000 times, doesn't matter. The evidence is in the effort versus result, which is the SMI indicators, which Tiru can explain, are confirming the weakness. The VSA indicators are confirming it, and the market is falling as we speak. And the trending system that we've developed at VSA and Trade Guider is showing that it's trying to push down. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to happen instantly. What you really want to see now is a no demand bar. And that will be a bar that pushes into that area with low volume. That isn't here yet. So trade what you see. So I'm going to hand back to Tiru. I'll just give you some final words that I hope will help you. Number one, believe in yourself. Number two, believe in the system that you've created. Now, that system is created through a trading plan, which Tiru and I can help you with. Number three, look at your charting options. Which ones do you want to use? Now, today we're using TradingView. You can use MT5, MT4. All of our systems work the same way. But this is the most important bit that Tom Williams taught me. And he said this, and it's exactly true. He said, what you hear and what you see in the media is misleading, especially if you're an investor or a trader. And Richard Ney, he quoted Richard Ney, you can Google Richard Ney, N-E-Y, had a Rolls Royce. And his number plate on his Rolls Royce was this, W-A-K-E space U-P. Wake up. And Tiru's waking up because he just have a nice cup of coffee. I can see that. I hope it's not vodka, is it? In there? No. He's got a sneaky gin and tonic, and he's not telling me because he doesn't drink. That was mine. Seriously, though,
it's non-alcoholic champagne.
You don't. Oh, I tell you what. I went to Shivan's christening, which is his son's christening, and I do have a drink occasionally. I don't drink anymore. But the interesting point, he said, we've got champagne. I went, oh, I thought you don't drink. He said, it's non-alcoholic. But he did, I'll give him credit. He went, oh, I'll tell you what, I'll go and get you a gin and tonic. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please be positive. Don't worry about the negative stuff that's out there. There is a lot of it, and it's especially in the markets. Look, that's an upthrust. Okay, and the market has gone down. It's gyrating, and of course, we've now got the attempt to support it and the attempt to sell it. This is going to be a great trade. If it breaks that low, then you want to be definitely going to be short based on the trend. And if we go to the bigger trend, you could see why this market is gyrating, because the market doesn't understand what Trump is doing. Are we going into a trade war? Okay, is this going to be tariffs and everything? It keeps changing, so the market doesn't know, which is good, because when it knows, it will move. And with that, I'll hand you back to Tiru to finish up. And I hope you've enjoyed the session. We're here to help you. We're going to be on live chat later this afternoon on tradeguider.com, which definitely helps. It'll be after 5 p.m. UK time, just so you know, because we're answering all our emails. But if you've got any questions at all, please do feel free to connect with us. And we'll send an email out after this about the event that we're doing over the weekend and next week, which is live trading and doing pretty much advanced stuff based on the book and based on Tiru's experiences and the team out there in India. We'll share it with you. But keep in mind right now, if this closes lower than that, you've got a really good trade to the downside here. And I'm pretty much certain once I've picked the kids up, I'll be watching it. Back over to you, Tiru.
Right. Guys, so I think as I was showing you all, just to wrap up, and then a couple of action points that you guys can start to take a look at. Let me see. First of all, can you all see my screen just to make sure? Because on my side, I can't seem to be seeing. Yes, now yeah, I guess you sure should be able to see my screen, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks for that, Adrian, for confirming as well. So you can see on the NASDAQ, I just want to finish off by saying, and then the follow-up action points. I know we've shot a little bit above time. Very quickly, you see, just to wrap up, right? Firstly, on the downtrend phase one, we had a similar setup here. This was what Gavin was saying in the beginning, just like in gold, okay? Why does these things work? Because they are recurring principles which will keep happening in the market. That's how smart money works, right? So over here, we have the same thing. Phase one here, right, on the 15-minute, on the close, we take it towards the first target, which is 1 ATR. Remember I told you that? It will get there 60-70% of the time, okay? But of course, we just don't look at one time frame alone. We look at confluence of factors across different time frames and according to your strategy rules, which we have developed over all the years of research on our team over here at Master the Markets and at Trade Guider as well. That's why we combine the volume as well. If you saw over here, everything confluenced together, the green VSA light with the volume confirming. Now on the NASDAQ, you can see also that similar setups. You see, when this one closed below and the smart money indicator confirmed it, volume spike once again, right? Again, you can do on one small target, which is for 1 ATR level. And the 1 ATR level for here would have been at 75. I'm just reading off here. And at 75 target, it would have hit it very straight away, just on that big red bar that happened after that, supported by volume also, confirming that this was selling strength. That's on your first target, right? Which would have been somewhere around here. But look, when you have a larger target, let's say if you wanted to trail this towards maybe the range, right? Now you must understand that the larger your target is and the larger you want to ride the move, you must accept, like what Gavin was also saying, you must accept volatility in between, okay? Or in other words, if I want to use a relaxed terminology, the dance. You must expect a little bit of a dance to happen, okay? So on a larger target like that, then you got to hold on, you got to expect this, and you still feel that, according to our statistical quantification here, that bottom hasn't confirmed, right? So why should I come out of it, right? That I can still ride that swing as long as that bottom hasn't confirmed and that top still remains on the top to bottom move. So that's how you can write larger targets and also keep trailing if you do want to. But remember this one thing that I will say. Smaller targets, usually, yes, less volatility, but on larger targets, you have to accept volatility to happen after it comes. Over here is ridden quite a bit, then it stalls a little bit. That's your volatility over there. How much it moves against you before getting to your maximum point. Okay, so you have to understand all that and factor that into your strategy rules as well. Okay, that's how we do it on the different strategies that we design over here. Now, a lot of questions also has come about, okay, how do I find out more about this? What's this mentorship course that you guys are talking about that you're going to do over the weekend? On that mentorship course, what we will do is we will send an email to you guys, right? So look out for your email. And if you're not on our email database yet, on either one of us, on Trade Guider, you can go to here, enter your email, enter your first name. For us, I would say the best thing would be to go to 7stepstoctp.com. Get in here, you can get onto our email database. So today, later on, the boys will send you all an email with all the details for the mentorship course going to happen this weekend. And then on the other thing, if you got more in-depth questions where you think that, you know what, I want to talk to Tiru or Gavin or any of their trading team a bit more in detail on how these really two indicators work according to your strategy that you've developed, I would say you can go to our calendar link over here. And then after that, on the calendar link, you can choose a date and time that would suit you, which I've put it onto the Zoom link over there. The boys can put it onto YouTube as well. Or if you need a bit more availability, sometimes it goes away quite fast. Then you can then email us at clientservice@masterthemarkets.net. Okay. Right. I guess that's pretty much that. And then on YouTube, you already know youtube.com/masterthemarkets, and Trade Guider will be youtube.com/Trade Guider. Traders, we do as much as we can, definitely always on giving you the truth of trading, because we're here to establish that. Doesn't mean, I mean, Gavin will confirm this as well. We're not here to tell you, oh yeah, and beat our chest that, you know what, we got it right, we got the Holy Grail, we got the crystal ball, as we always joke. That's not the point. Our point here is to deliver the principles upon which you can use in your own trading as well. That's the most important thing. We will take losses as well, me and Gavin. That's not the point. The point is you must trade your conviction knowing why your strategy must continue to work. Why did the trade lose? Why did it come out there? Why was it invalidated? And why did the trade win? And why did I come out there? And you must know on your why you're doing that so that the law of numbers will then finally realize itself for its statistical edge and for your strategy to achieve consistent performance. These are the things that you must know, and these are the things that we guide you along through all the different videos and programs that we got here at both Master the Markets and Trade Guider. So those of you already registered onto the mentorship program, great, we will see you there. And those of you who want to find out more, check out your email, and you can then join us also over there. I think it's a 4-part series masterclass that we'll be doing. You can find out all the details on the email, and you can check it from there. I guess that's pretty much that from us, Gavin. I think we will conclude here, right?
Yeah, I'm just so you know, the NASDAQ's falling fairly rapidly now, as we can see. The upthrust is in control here. It's going to go through its target. And yes, you're right. I'm not showing my screen at the moment. Well, actually, I can. Let me just very quickly end on this because
Go for it.
Yeah, I will. I'll just put the screen on. So why is it falling? Well, it's supply is overcoming demand, and we're going to discuss this in the event. And you'll all get an email about this, by the way. We're not going to do it here, but you'll all get an email if you're on our databases, respectively, with details of the course and what it does. But let me just put the screen on here. Right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So just to summarize, I'm using multiple time frame analysis here. So we're in a phase 1 downtrend, which means we're in an area of distribution because of the upthrust confirmed by the SMI indicators. Now you can see that very clearly. And this is not a PowerPoint, so let me just be very clear on this. So I'm going to just zoom in a little bit on what and where this level's going. It's about to go right through it. Now I'm short. The fund is short. You're going to see where it's going to go. Now I don't want to overrun. We want to keep this, you know, because it goes on YouTube. It's out on YouTube, but it's really important you see this. Now, if I go now to the 1 minute chart, okay, now this is important. You're going to see a no demand indicator. Now, the no demand indicator just appeared as Terry was talking. And it's still in phase one down. It's going to break. But that is key once you understand it. And it's very simple. No demand means exactly what it says. There's no interest in higher prices. So gold's been going up, which we've seen, which you can see, and the NASDAQ has been pushing lower. And as we've been talking, it had an upthrust on the 15 minute and it had no demand here on the 1 minute chart, and it fell. And if you're a scalper, which some of you are, this is how the markets work. And it takes time. And the wonderful thing about trading, as we can now see, we're still in phase one on the 1 minute chart, is they're testing these areas. But if you get in our software, the new software, the professional version, an indicator that's lightly colored, so it's not solid like that, it means it's a failed test. Now, I'm going to give it 1 minute and then I'm going to close it off. But if we get a failed test, it'll break. But what's great about this is the SMI is confirming the no demand. And you can't do this in a PowerPoint. You can try, and it looks great. This is real time with a lot of people viewing this on YouTube. And the markets move on exactly the laws I've said, and which Tira and I subscribe to. Supply and demand, cause and effect, effort versus result. Don't use green and red as, oh, a green means sell, a red means sell. They're testing this, okay? So it's now there. They're testing it there. It's holding because it's expecting that bar to close higher. But if it closes lower, it's failed. And it's really straightforward because it's like a driving test. But overall, what I'm watching is the trending system, which is what Tira and I look at, and everything's red. So these dots, they're all part of what we've produced in TradingView at Trade Guider. SMI indicators are confirming the same thing. No demand is one of our indicators. This test here is trying to hold, and the software is saying, well, if this closes higher, but it won't, by the way, it won't. And I'll show you. If I go to the 3 minute chart, which is one of my favorites as a time frame, you're going to see this happening in real time. So there's your no demand bar. We're confirmed 3 minutes down. It's going to trend down. It's going to break these two lines, and they are called trigger numbers, which are written about in both my first books, Trading in the Shadow. And when I wrote about these trigger numbers, they were written really by Tom Williams. Tom Williams gave me the code. And it's the market finding support and resistance. I'll quote two on this. You've got the buyers coming in here. All right. So it's marked the top, which has broken on no demand, and it's marked the bottom. Okay. That's because the background is incredibly important. And, you know, I said to Tira, I said, we want to keep this webinar to maybe an hour, but we might overrun a bit, because what happens if the market starts moving, which it has? And when we're doing our training, which you'll get the details on, it's all about this. It's about reading the bar. Now, because we're not using a PowerPoint, I'm looking for this bar to close lower than the low of that bar. But I can't, it's 3 minute chart now I'm on. I've got my no demand bar. I'm looking for something similar. And a fall right the way down, actually, because I can see the weakness is in the upthrust in the background. And that is the key. It's looking at the bigger time frame. And I'll ask Tiru the question here, actually, but well, we're going to finish any minute because I just
Yeah.
want to let this bar close. Tiru, why is it so important to look at different time frames, like which we do, but I'm looking at a 3 minute chart and we're watching the collapse of the NASDAQ here. We've got the SMI indicator. Everything's showing me that it's going to fall. Why is multiple time frame analysis so important to a trader?
I'll talk to just answer it really briefly because I think because of time as well, we explain this more in the mentorship in any case.
Yeah,
The time frame correlation, why we do that is mainly towards the objective of confluence of factors. And what kind of confluence of factors towards what objective? Well, you see, every strategy finally comes down to a direction bias and then finally timing, right? So these are the reasons why we do the time frame correlation. The other thing towards the end objective of direction and timing, or what direction bias and when you're going to get into the market, we are looking at cycle harmony. Now, across all time frames, especially the higher time frames is where the money power is, right? Where the smart money is. So we are seeing if the lower time frames are aligning with the higher time frames where the money is, right? So if let's say the daily is on a downtrend phase one, 4 hour is also on a downtrend phase 1 hour is also on a downtrend phase one, and this is what we do on the trend alignment tables, right? Because I've done that very quickly already today, and I didn't show you guys on the gold, right? So that's what I'm looking at very quickly. This was the other day. I haven't updated this yet, but today it would have all aligned towards the long, and which is what we did. So that is why we look at the time frame correlations, so that when we are looking at the, let me just bring up that one, so that when we are looking at the different time frames is towards this objective, so that the time frames align in terms of their trends and phases. And even if one of the lower time frame, like the 15 minute, is let's say on a downtrend phase two or an uptrend phase two, but my direction alignment is there with the other time frames, and I get confluence of factors towards cycle harmony, which is how the market moves in cycles, not in a straight line, because of volatility, which we explained just now, or the dance, if you want to call it crude. And then that's what we're doing over here. So time frame correlation towards that cycle harmony, towards direction alignment, and then confluence of factors, finally to tell you the direction bias and the timing. That's why we are doing the time frame correlation.
perfect. I mean, you couldn't explain that better. And you can see now what's going on. So now, we're running out of time, and we are. But I want to just let this bar close, because if it closes below the close of that bar, it's going to go all the way through here. And I'm already short. Now I'm just on the phone with the guy. Right, it has, and I'm on the WhatsApp with the guys, and
There
what
you
they're
go.
saying, Tiru.
It's going for that.
It's
You know,
go.
I'm
It's
just
going. It's
thinking
going to go
about
straight. It's going to go
um,
straight to. Everything's aligning. Everything's aligning.
beautiful. I guess definitely they need to watch this and see how that goes. We're showing our goal now on NASDAQ. It will keep repeating. We will send an update on email as well, Gavin. I'm just thinking about time because I got to run off to this other thing. But I guess we have shown really the strong principles where they can really take away and they can go on and
Yeah.
further. If they want to further it, they can always join us on the mentorship this weekend, isn't it?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. And yeah, we'll send an email out for the event this weekend, and it's live trading next week. What a great session. Hope you've enjoyed it. Tiru, always a pleasure to work with you. I mean, look at this. There's no demand, and look at everything's aligned. And
Amazing. I
sometimes
think
this,
that's what we want people to take away.
yeah, it
Traders,
will. Yeah.
it's been
Thank
such a
you.
great pleasure giving you so much value. Please take away, please go and reflect on it, watch the videos a few times, and then we will see how you can incorporate that into your own strategy. And then for those of you who are free, you definitely join us on the mentorship this weekend. All right, traders, I guess that's pretty much it from us. And as we always say, till the next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master.